Good evening to you all. Today is our week 8 of this nationwide graduate IT Employability Skills Bootcamp 4.0, which is organized by Hammad Technologies and Consultancy Limited. So, as always, we start by showing our outlines. That is what we are going to cover for today. And our outlines for today goes like this. We are going to have a small recap on week 7. Then from there, we'll move to specific percentage. We'll discuss on specific percentage, cell formatting, rank, mean, max, count, count A, and count blank. So all these are what we are going to cover for today. Some are functions in Microsoft Excel, while some are just tricks. So then from there, we'll move to question and answer, then conclusion, and finally call it a day. Recap on week 7. On week 7, that is last week, Friday, we discussed on, or we start introduction into Microsoft Excel, in which we have explained the interface of Microsoft Excel. We have seen how to create table, how to customize the table. We have also discussed on simple arithmetic, percentage, average, and so on. So last week we have discussed a lot. So today, let's just go directly into Microsoft Excel so that we can see, so that we can cover what we are to discuss today. So let me start sharing my, uh, let me share my Excel screen, please. Okay, so I hope you all can see my screen. Today, we are going to discuss on specific percentage, which is our first agenda for today's outlines. Specific percentage is like normal percentage. The only difference is that this one is specific percentage. The normal percentage is specific divided by total multiplied by 100. So this one, let's take for example, maybe you have a payroll of maybe people that are working on a company. So maybe you just decide maybe to remove 10% from their salary. Each and every person you are to remove or you are to subtract 10% from his salary. So how will you know the 10% of their salary? How will you know the 10% of each 10% salary of each and every person? Let's take for example, let's just say for example, this is their full name. Let's just take for example, this is their salary. So let's just give a random, or let's just give it, let's say Aliyu Muhammad. This is the first employee. Let's say Najibu Aliyu. Let's say Yazid Lawal. Let's say Ismail Muhammad. Let's say Abdullah Bello Abubakar. So let's take, for example, these are the names of your staffs or the name of your employees. So let's just add it. Aha. So now let's just generate a salary for each and every person. Let's take for example. So now this is their salary. So this is salary for each and every person or for each and every employee. So now let's take for example, you want to know 10% or 5% from each and every person. You want to know the 5% of his salary. So let's take for example, let's say this is 10% salary. So now for you to know the specific percentage for each and every person, that is the 10% of each and every staff. So you are to just write equal to the salary for each staff, then multiply by what? Multiply by 10%. You are to just click on the specific salary of each person, then multiply by 10%. Then you press enter. So now, so you see, so now this is the 10% salary of this people. This is their 10% salary. So you see, or maybe 5%. So you have to just, let's say, for example, let's say 5, then write percent. So you see, now this is the 5%. 10% is too much, please. So maybe this is the 5%. So this is the 5% of their salary. Each and every employee, this is 5% of his salary. This Ali Muhammad, this is his 5%. Najibu Ali, this is his 5%. So this is the 5%. So maybe you just want to deduct or you want to remove 5% from their main salary. So what you have to just apply your simple arithmetic. That's their main salary minus the 5%. You just subtract. So you see. So now maybe you are doing contribution each and every month. So you are doing contribution. So maybe each and every month after they pay each and every person his salary, so you are to deduct or you are to remove 5% from the salary for maybe monthly contribution. So maybe you can just name this as their net salary after the deduction of the 5%. So maybe you can just name this as their um as their uh as their net salary. So this is how you calculate a specific percentage. So you have to decide, okay, so I want to remove so percent from so amount. So this is a specific percentage. Then the next thing in our agenda is self-formatting. So what is this self-formatting? This self-formatting is like it's just a process of formatting your cell based on what you want to enter on that particular cell. For example, you have a table and your table has header. So for you to apply self-formatting for your table, you have to first understand what that your header means and what is supposed to be under that header. Okay, my header is full name. So what's supposed to be under this full name? I know is characters. Okay, this is salary. What is supposed to be under this salary? I know definitely it will be currency or it will be money. Okay, this is age. What is supposed to be under this column of age? So first of all, you have to understand, okay, so this is my header. So what's supposed to be under that header? What's supposed to be under that particular column? For example, maybe here is date of birth. Okay, so this is date of birth. So I know definitely here, under this, what is going to be insert here must be definitely date of birth. So, okay, so let me format it in a way that each and every number that I enter here, it will just turn to date of birth automatic. So that's self-formatting. Before you apply self-formatting, you have to first understand your header. And okay, this is my header. So what is supposed to be under that header before you can apply self-formatting? Uh, let's uh let's just let's just remove this. So let's say this is date of birth. Let's say this is date of birth. Then maybe age. No, so we don't need age. So since we have put date of birth, okay. So now let's start. Let's say this is our table. Maybe we can just let's just customize this small. Let's say all border. And times new room. Let's just customize this. Customize it. Mhm. So let's just customize it, please. So now, as you can see, by default, each and every cell is in general. As you can see, if you click on each cell, if you just come to this general, you see, if you click on each and every cell, you just, by default, you see that it's general. So by default, each and every cell is in general. So now, this is our first header, which is full name. Okay, so under this full name, definitely is going to be character. So you just leave it on general. Then This one is salary. By just looking at the header, you know that definitely anything that will fall under this salary, it will be something that is supposed to be in currency. So what you just do for you to format these cells or for you to format this column, you have to just highlight it. After you highlight it, you just come to this general. So from there, you see where they write currency. So you just click on this currency. You see, now dollar sign will appear. So, but maybe you are in Nigeria, you are working with Naira. So how will you change this dollar sign on to Naira? We are trying to format the cells under salary. So you just come back to here, then click more format. If you click on more number format, you see where there are decimal places. As you can see now, we have two zeros after each and every salary, two zeros, two zeros. So you can reduce the decimal point. So you see, now we have removed all the decimal places. Then it will ask us the symbol. So you just click on this symbol. You just scroll. Just keep scrolling, keep scrolling. So you see where they write Naira sign. There is Ido, Fulani, Hausa, Ibibio, Igbo. So all this one, if you choose anyone, whether Yoruba, whether Kanuri, Igbo, you can choose anyone. So let's just choose Hausa. So now if you just click on OK, so you see, now format the it has format the cell, or it has format the column into what? It has changed it into currency. So you see, now if you just write anything, so you see, automatic, it will just add the Naira sign to it. So this is all about currency. And again, let's take for example, so now, you know this is percentage, right? So you know definitely everything that's supposed to be here is supposed to be in percentage. So now you just highlight it. So you see, by default, it has even highlight percentage. So you just click on percentage. So you see, now it has put the percentage sign. So if you like, you can remove the decimal, you can decrease the decimal place, or you can just remove it. So you see, so that's for percentage. Then we also have currency. So this currency and we also have accounting. This accounting and currency, they are the same thing, please. They just add all of them add currency sign to your number. But the only difference is that here for currency, there is no space, or there is not too much space between the naira sign and the uh and the number. There is no too much space. But now let's change it to, or let's just generate random number. Let's just see so that you can see the difference. So now let's put accounting, please. So you see, let's put a naira sign. Let's reduce it. Then you just come scroll, scroll, scroll. So if you scroll now, you see the naira sign and just put it. So you see, this is the only difference. So maybe this one accounting student can know the difference between this currency and this accounting. That's the only difference. That's the only, it will just add space. As you can see now, there are too much space between this naira sign and the number. But here, there is no too much space between the naira sign and the number. So that's the only difference between currency and accounting. Then let's move to date of birth. So you know, by default, you know, everything that is going to fall under this date of birth is date. So you just highlight. After you highlight, we have short date, we have long date. We have short date and we have long date. So if you just click on this date now. So now let's just try to input any number. So you see, it will turn that number automatic. You know, there are some dates that comes in forms of numbers. Yeah, there are some dates that comes in forms of numbers. So as you can see, if you just input any number, so it will just automatically turn that number into date of birth. And if you like, you can put it. So as you can see, maybe let's just put number. So this is too much. So let's just put another number. So you see, this is 18th of May 2003. So you see, but this date, 30th of March 2042. So that's how you format date, whether short date or long date. Now, let's take for example, now you want a long date. You just highlight and just come here, long date. So now, maybe let's say, uh, so you see, so this is the long date. Long date, it will, you see the name of the month, February 5, 2012. So that's the only difference between the short date and the long date. The short date, it will display the name of the month, then the day, then the year. So if you just input any number, so you see, it will just automatically, you see, this is October 18th, 1993. Maybe, so you see, this is March 20th of March, 1964. So that's how you format date. So each and every time you have a date, so you can just decide which format or which cell formatting am I going to apply for this. Is it short date? Is it long date? So you can go for anyone. That's for the date. Then let's say, for example, we have a column for phone number. So now, by default, what's supposed to be under this phone number is phone number. Let's say, for example, Nigerian uh, phone number. Let's say, for example, 0706540 5876. So now, as you can see, the first zero disappear. So why this first zero disappear? Is because we did not format our cell. Because this cell is in general. So now, for that zero to stay, we have to format this cell into what? Into text. We have to format this cell into text. So now you just come here and click on what? Just go down. You click on text. So now if you write the zero, now if you now write, let's say 0706540 5876. So you see, now the zero is there. So let's write another, let's say 09038780998. So you see, so now for you, maybe let's say, for example, let's say you have account number. Account number. So you see, some account numbers start with zero. So for you to, if you want that zero to stay, so you have to format the cell or you have to format the column. So you just come here and put text. So you see, you just start zero. So each and every number that is going to start with zero, so you have to format that particular cell from general to text. So that's why I said, each time you are trying to apply cell formatting, you have to first understand your header. Okay, so this is my header. So what is supposed to be under this header? So you just format that cell according to the variables or according to the values that are going to be under that particular header. So that's just cell formatting. So I think this scientific fraction, so they are not this number. So this is all about cell formatting. Then moving to the next thing in our agenda is rank function. Rank function. So rank function is a function in Microsoft Excel that we use to rank numbers. That you just use it to rank people based on their numbers or based on a particular number. For example, now you want to rank these people based on their salary. The person with the highest salary will be first, followed by the second, third, fourth. The way they used to rank student. So that's how you will rank this, maybe your employees. Let's just add a column here. So maybe now, let's take, for example, I want to rank these employees based on their salary. Instead of, okay, so you just come here and start looking, okay, so which one is the highest salary? Which one has the highest salary? You just be scrolling. Maybe you have thousands of employees. So now, but by using this function, rank function, you can rank them based on their salary. What you just do, you just write your equal to, then write your rank. So we have rank average, rank EQ, and normal rank. So this rank, now is like the outdated version that you can find in that is more presently in Excel version 2007, 10, I think 13 or 16. But if you are using 2019, you will see this rank EQ. But maybe if you are using 2007, you will not see this rank EQ. You only see this rank. So we are, for the sake of this class, we are using this rank. But this rank EQ and this rank, they perform the same function, please. So you just click on this rank. So the first thing it will ask us is what? Is the number. Okay, so which number are you ranking? This is the number here. This salary. Then the next thing is it will ask you the ref. So, okay, now this number that you are ranking, in which particular range are you ranking this number? This number that you are ranking, so in which particular range are you ranking this number? Okay, so this particular number B2 or this particular cell, I am ranking it based on this range. You just highlight the range. Right? Then, comma. Then it will ask you, now, this number that you want to rank, do you want to rank it in descending order or in ascending order? In descending order, that is from lowest to highest. That's from 0 to downward. While ascending order, that is from 1 to downward. That is from the highest to lowest. In the descending order is from lowest to highest, while from in the ascending order is from highest to lowest. Then, so we are ranking it in descending order. Then we write 0. Then we'll close our function. Then we'll click enter. So now, because this cell, we have formatted to currency. So now we'll change it. We'll just change it to general. So you see, now the dollar sign just disappear. So as you can see now, this number, this person, Aliyu Muhammad. So according to his salary, he is number 16. The function rank him as 16 because he is maybe he's the top 16 according to their salary. Okay, so now for you to calculate for others, you have to just drag. But before we drag, we have to lock our range. This range now, this ref, we have to lock it. Why are we locking it? Because now this particular cell B2, we are looking for its rank. On which range? On this range in descending order. So even if we move to this B3 now, we are to use the same range to find its rank. So it means we are to lock it. So you just click F4. So if you just press F4 now, so you just click enter. Then you just drag. So you see? So now we have ranked them based on their salary. As you can see, this is the first person. This is second. This is third, this is fourth. So continuously, that's how it will rank them. So you see, now this is B3. So in this B3, in which range are you looking? Do you want to in which range do you want to rank it? So you see, this is the same particular range. So that's why we lock it. So there is something in this rank. Let's say, for example, two people are collecting the same salary, which means they have tallied. For example, let's say this person and this person are collecting the same salary. You see, 251,595. So they are collecting the same salary. These two people, they are collecting the same salary. So it will give them the same rank. As you can see, this is 4 and this is 4. But now you will not see 5. You will not see any person with rank 5. It will just move to 6. That's something with rank. If it rank 2 person with the same number, so definitely it will just move to the next. It will just move to next number. Maybe this 4, 4. So it means now it will just jump 5 and move to 6. Even this one, let's say, for example, this 7. Let's give them the same. So you see, now it will just rank them the same. 6, 6. Then you will not see 7. It will just go to 8. So that's all about rank. And if you like, you can rank it maybe in ascending order. Maybe you just come here and change this to 1. So now the one with the lowest salary now will be the first. You see, this one is the one with the lowest salary. So now he's the first. And if you like, you can just use 0 so that The one with the highest salary will be the first, then the one with the lowest salary will be the last. So that's all about rank. Then we'll move to mean function. Mean function, this is it. Mean. Mean function is a function in Microsoft Excel that we use to find the smallest or the minimum number among or along a particular range of numbers. For example, now, let's just add a cell here. So by default, it's general. So let's say this is mean. So now you want to know which salary is the minimum salary here. Which salary among these people now, who is collecting the minimum salary? You just want to know which salary is the minimum salary. You just come and write equal to mean. Then it will ask you number one. So instead of you to be clicking number, comma, click on this. No. So you just highlight. You see, you just highlight. Then close your function and click enter. So you see, now this is the minimum salary among the ranges of this salary. As you can see now, he's the number 16th. He's the one with the lowest salary. So you see, now it has just helped us find the minimum salary. So that's the work of mean. Then we also have max. We also have max. While this max, it will just help you find the maximum salary among ranges of this salary. Or it will help you find the maximum number among ranges of a number. For example, let's just say right equals to max. Then we'll just highlight. Then we'll close our bracket. So you see, the maximum salary, the person with the maximum salary is collecting 3,220. 8,886. So as you can see, where is him? So you see, he is the first person. It rank him as first. So and his salary is this. So that's how that's how mean and max count works. So we also have we are going to also discuss on count, count A, and the count blank. So these are three functions that we are going to discuss, which are the last function that we are going to discuss today. Count is a function in Microsoft Excel that count only cells with numbers. If a cell has a number, so count will count, okay, so maybe you have this particular cells. So maybe among these cells, there are cells with numbers, there are empty cells, there are cells with alphabet or character. So this count now, it will only eliminate cells with numbers and count them only. That's the work of what? That's the work of this count. It count only cells with numbers. Then we also have count A. Count A, it count non-empty cells. What I mean by non-empty cells is that it counts all the cells, whether cell has character, whether cells has number, whether cells has special symbol, whether cell has space bar. So it count all the cells except empty cell. That's why I said count A, count only. That's why I say count A, count non-empty cells. It will count all the cells except if a cell is empty. Then we have count blank. Count blank, it count blank cells. It count blank cells in Microsoft Excel. It's count blank cells. So that's this one count numbers, this one count non-empty cells, then this one count blank cells or empty cells. Let's take, for example, maybe as you can see now, we have 16 records. We have 16 records, right? So maybe you can just, let's delete this. Let's just write AD here, maybe ZA here. Now, okay. Now we want to, let's start with count. So as if you want to know, okay, among these cells now, how many cells has numbers? How many cells contains numbers among the range of these cells now? So you just come here and write equals to count. Then it will ask you the value. So you just highlight. Then you close and press enter. So now from the total cells, from these 16 cells, as you can see, the range is 16. We have total number of 16 records. From this record of 16 cells, we have 12 cells with numbers. So that's how count works. You just write count and highlight the cell. Then moving to count A. So you just write equals to count A. Then you just highlight. So you see, now this count A now, it count all the cells, whether it is number, whether it is character, whether it is spatial symbol, whether it is spacebar. So you see, now so now it performs two functions. It performs functions of count and it performs functions of counting characters. So it performs two functions. Then moving to count blank. So you just write equals to count blank. So this count blank, it only count blank cells. So you just highlight, then press enter. So as you can see, we have only we have only two blank cells. These are the only two blank cells that we have. So you see, so that's how count A and count blanks works. Count A, count is count cells with numbers. Count A, it count non-empty cells. Then count blank, it count cells that are empty or cells that are blank. Then let's say, for example, now this blank cell, let me just press spacebar. If I just press spacebar now and press enter now, just look at this. As you can see here, we have 12. Here we have 14. Here we have 3. So now let's see which one would change. Just press enter. So you see, now as you can see, the count blank has changed to what? 1. By merely looking at this cell, you see this cell is empty, but it's not empty. There is space bar on it. There is space. So you see, so that's why this count A now, it count only non-empty cells. That's the only cells that it will not count. Non-empty cells. And that's the only cells that it will not count if a cell is empty. But if a cell has something in on it, whether number, whether character, whether space bar, special symbol, so it will count it. So that's all about count A, count blank. And this count A, count blank, they are among the functions that they use for data cleaning. Maybe those of you that want to go for um, data analysis or data analytics, field of data or this data analytics, they use this count A, count blank to check the validity and invalidity of a data. Before you start working with a data, okay, so let me check the validity and validity of this data. You know, there are some people that maybe if data is 75% valid, or some people they can say you have to check the validity of the data. If the data is 98% valid or 95% valid, you can work with it. If it is not, so you have to go back to fill. So they use these functions, count, count A, count blank, to check the validity and invalidity uh, of a data. So this is all about count A, count blank. Count, it count cells that has numbers. Count A, it counts non-empty cells. That is cells that has either number, character, spacebar, spatial symbols, and that. Then count blank, it count only blank cells, only empty cells. That's the function of count blank. So this is all what we are going to cover for today. So please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. So please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat, please. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. If you have any question, please, you can drop it in the chat. Oh, I think, now, yeah. Let's just, let's just expatiate more on this count A and count blank. Let's see how we can check the validity of this data that we have. Let's take, for example, we have the data that has only this. Let's take, for example, Let's take, for example, now, this is the data that we have, as you can see. Let's just try and just, let's just try and, let's just add serial number, please. Serial number. Let's just add serial number, please. I just want to show you something. I just want to show you something. Let's just. So now, this is what we have. Okay, sorry, please. Sorry, please. Okay. Now, let's take, for example, this is what we have. Now, we want to use this count A and count blank to check the validity of this data. As you can see, we have full name. We also have salary. We also have rank. Now, we want to check the validity of this. We want to check their validity. Let me just bold it, bold all of them. We just want to check their validity, please. So now, let's start with, let's say this is count. Let's say this is count A. Let's say this is count blank. We just want to check their validity. Oh, sorry, please. Let me just carry this down. Let's say these are the variable or headers. These are the headers. Well, let's just call them variables. These are our variables now. So we want to check the validity of these variables that we have. Well, let me just bold this. Now, okay. So, like I told you now, before you start applying this count A, count blank, okay, you have to understand your data first. Okay, so this is my data now. This is full name. So you, by all means, you know that on this full name now, I'm not expecting to see number as full name or blank as full name or special symbol as full name, which means I'm expecting to see only character. So which means now if I apply count to this full name now and it returns number to me, maybe, and it did not return zero. So it means definitely there is something here. There is something wrong under this full name. Let's apply it and see. Let's write equals to, sorry. Let's write equals to counts, right? So we'll just highlight this. As you can see, you have to know the total number of records you have. Now we have 16 records. And we're expecting this count now to return what? To return zero. Because this is full name. And under this full name, we're expecting to see what? We're expecting to see only characters. So anything, number, space, symbol is wrong. So now you just close it. So you see, now that we have applied count to this. So count, it counts what? It count only numbers. So it count only numbers. So just write equals to count. So let's just highlight this. So you see, now we have what? We have three numbers. It returns that, okay, there are three cells that has number under the column of full name. As you can see, this is 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now let's move to count A. Count A. So this one, to count only non-empty cells. It counts non-empty cells. Okay. So from the 16 records that we have, it shows that we have 14 cells that are not blank, that are not empty. So you see now it has performed functions of count A, function of counting characters and functions of counting numbers. Then let's move to count blank. So you see, now count blank. So now count blank, right? So let's just highlight it. So you just close and okay. So we have two blank. So now, how are we going to check the validity and invalidity of this data now? Let's just come here and write valid. Then let's say invalid. So now, how are we going to check the validity and invalidity of this data now? Of this column, of this first column, this column of full name. So as you all know, this header, we're expecting to see only characters under this header. So now, how are we going to extract the valid cells under this column? How are we going to know, okay, so this amount or this so number of cells are the valid cells that we have under this full name? So as you can see, count now, by all means, we know that this is invalid because this is full name and we are not expecting to see number. So we are not touching this. We are not touching this. Then for count A, it count non-empty cells, which means it counts cells that has characters and numbers or spacebar or a special symbol. Okay. So now this one is already invalid. We are not talking about count. It's invalid by default because what we are expecting to see under full name is characters. So, and it returns 3. So by default, this one is invalid. Then for this now, how are we going to know the valid? So this one now, for us to know the valid, now it performs two functions. It performs function of counting numbers and it performs function of counting characters. So now for us to know the valid, we just say equal to this minus what? Minus this. Because it performs two functions. It performs its own function and it performs function of this count. It combines them together. So now for us to know the valid cells that are among these 16 cells, so we are to remove this count, that this count A performs its own function because it performs function of this count. So now if you just press enter, so now we have 11 valid cells. From this range of 16 cells, we have only 11 valid cells. So now, how are we going to identify our invalid? By default, count is invalid because our column is full name. We are not expecting to see anything apart from character. So anything number and blank is invalid. So you just write equal to this plus what? Plus this. So these are the invalid data that you have. So as you can see, we have total number of what? 16 record, right? So now, if you just add this, let's just say total. If you just add equal to this plus this. So you see, so our data is 16. So now it means that from this total record of 16, we have 11 cells that are valid and we have 5 cells that are invalid. So now, how are you going to calculate the percentage? How are you going to know the percentage? Normal percentage equals to specific divided by what? Total. Then log your total. Then for this one, drag. So you see, now this data is 69% valid and it is 31% invalid. So you see, this data you cannot work with because it's 69% valid and it's 31% invalid. So maybe the insight that you want to bring or some findings that you want to bring, this 69% will not be enough. So it means you have to go back to where you collect data or contact the person that gave you the work. Or that's the essence of collecting phone number. Okay, so sir, I have maybe after you collected, you just call the person. Okay, what's your full name? Because in your full name we have seen 34. Your full name we have seen 12. So you see, so that's it. So this is how you calculate the validity and invalidity of a data uh using count A and count blank. Then the same thing for salary. For this salary now, we are expecting count now. So now this is different template. This one, that's why I said you have to first understand your header. If you understand your header, okay, so what's supposed to be under this header? Now for this salary, we're expecting anything under the salary to be number. So we're expecting our account now to return what? To return 16. So it means that now if this count did not return 16, so it means that definitely there is something wrong. So now let's apply it and see. Let's say count, then we'll just highlight this, then close it and enter. So now it returns that, okay, it means that only 12 cells has numbers on in it. Then let's apply count A and C. So this one, it performs two functions. So let's just apply it and see. So you see, it shows that 13 cells now has either character or numbers. Then let's move to count blank. So you see, okay, this is count blank. Then let's close it. So it shows that we have three invalid. So now, how are we going to know the valid and invalid of this salary now? How are we going to know the valid and invalid of this salary? Let's say valid, let's say invalid, and let's say total. So now by default, salary, what is supposed to be under the salary is expected to be number. So it means that by default, since here we have 12 and only count numbers. So it means that here you just write 12. Or you just write equals to this. That's just it. So you see, now we have 12 valid cells. What about invalid cells? Now, this one is valid. We are done with it. Then what about invalid? What about invalid? Because this one now, it performs two functions. It performs function of counting this count, and it performs function of counting numbers, and it performs function of counting characters or other symbols. Then you just come here and write equals to this minus, we have this minus this now. So it means that this count A and this count now. What this means is that this count A now that we subtract from this count, it means that what remains is the invalid. Because we are to remove this 12 from this 13 to show that, okay, what remains is the invalid, which is what? Which is either character or spacebar or symbol. Then plus what? Plus this count blank. This count blank is already invalid. So you just press enter. So you see, sorry, please. I'm supposed to write it here. You just write equals to this minus this. So now we have extract this 12 valid cells. We have extract them from this 13. Then plus what? Plus this blank cells, which is invalid. Then we just press enter. So now let's check whether if it is complete. This plus this. Okay, so it means we have total record of 16. Then check the validity percentage. Just calculate normal percentage. Then highlight it, lock it, then drag it like this, then click on percentage. So you see, so this data is up to 74. This salary now is up to 75% valid. Then for the invalid is up to 25% invalid. So that's how we check the validity. For us that want to pursue career in data analysis, this is how they check the validity and validity of a data before they start working with the data. So now, for you to check the overall validity, you all know how to check that overall validity. You just sum this, sum this, sum this, sum this, find the total sum, and just find the total validity. So that's how they work with it. And if you, for example, if your data, maybe your data, there is no number in your data, maybe your data is only full name, address, yes, a full name. You have, let's say, for example, you have full name, address, maybe yeah, we can say level or rank. So you see, your data, all your data is is characters. There is no number in your character. So you can just go and apply it directly without following this. You can just apply it directly. Just write equals to count. After you write count, then highlight it all. So maybe now 16. Okay, so you have 16 records but you have three columns. So 16 times 3. Okay, so you are expecting to check the validity of that particular data. Maybe for example, you just say equals to 16 times 3. So you see 48. So you just go for it. Maybe your data, you just write equals to count. So if your data has the same thing, so no need for you to be calculating the validity and invalidity using column by column. You can just go directly and apply it. So this is all about, this is what I said I want to show you using count A and count blank. So please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat, please. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. We have done much today, so if you have any question, you can just drop it in the chat. Please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. My question is that, can I use filter function to identify or check cells that has numbers, characters, blanks in a column? Yes, you can use filter, but we are not up to there. So we'll reach there. We'll reach there. Don't worry, we'll reach there. Normally in Microsoft Excel, there are some functions that are meant for analysis. There are some that are used for data cleaning. So these ones are among the functions that we use in data cleaning. So even filtering and sorting, they are trick we use for data when we are doing data cleaning. So you can use that to filter cells that has numbers, or to filter cells that has that are blank, or to filter cells that, but we'll reach there, we'll reach there. And if we reach there, you just know the difference between why we are using this and why we use filter. Regarding our week 7 assignment, could you please answer question in section B? Question in section. No. Okay. Please, how can I answer assignment? How can I answer your assignment, please? So it's an assignment that's given to you. So there is no way I will answer your question. I will answer assignment question, please. Just go and crack your brain. My question is that, can I use, okay, I've answered it. So regarding our week 7 in section B, question 5, there is no any values of children immunized from the table. We have only values for target population. Please read and understand the question. Please understand the question. This one that you are saying, there is no any value of children immunized from the table. We have only values for the target population. How can we do that? No, please check the question very well, please. Just check the question very well. Please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. Please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. And if there is no any question, I think we can just call it a day, because we have covered our outlines for today. Then we'll see next week, because it just remains 2 weeks. Normally, this bootcamp is supposed to last for 10 weeks, and this week is the 8th week. So it only remains 2 weeks. We have only 2 weeks. So please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat. And if there is any question, I think we can just call it a day. Okay, for the absence of any question, let's call it a day. Thank you.